again to another one of our live podcast. This is your boy. Welcome to our TikTok live. Those are joining us live on TikTok. I hope you have fun with us today, joining us. If you're joining us live on YouTube, we're happy to have you. We appreciate your presence. If you're joining us live on the Podbean app, this is XY Spark, the podcast for men, with your life coach, Rolando. It's a Friday. TGIF. Somebody would say, thank God it's Friday. I don't know what you say. I'm not even sure where you are located, but wherever you are located around the planet, we want to say thank you for being here. We appreciate you. We want to send you all the love and appreciation, the respect for the morning. Hey, I see you, Ronaldo. Good to have you in the morning. I want to say how much I appreciate seeing you so early. Jess, welcome. Thanks for being here. Today, guys, we have a very interesting thing that we're going to be discussing. We are going to be talking about stress. Do you have stress? Do you feel stress? Have you ever wondered what are some of the things that you can do to manage stress? Notice I didn't say manage your stress. I said manage stress because today we are going to have conversations and we're going to talk about how we can manage our stress more effectively and more efficiently in order to preserve our mental health. As usual, we want to set the stage and let you guys know that we want you to call up a friend, share, like, comment, subscribe. We also want you to know that you can go back to the Podbean app later and listen to this entire podcast. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel. Our YouTube channel is XY Spark as well. And you can go there and you can see and listen back to the conversations and you can subscribe as well. Because, guys, anything and everything you do to support XY Spark, we appreciate you 100%. So today we're talking about how to manage situational stresses and maintain balance. Hey, I see you coming in there on Podbean. Great to have you. If this is your first time, we thank you for joining us live on our podcast. Just say in the chat where you're joining us from because we want to send a special shout out to you wherever you are around the planet. We just want to say, hey, shout out to you for being here. So we want to talk about stress. Stress is one of those things that I want you guys to understand that every single person has stress. Is it fair to say that? Do you have stress? Do you feel stressed? Well, every single person has stress. I also wanted to remind you guys that we offer live coaching calls while we're doing these live events. So if you have a question about stress, if you're live on TikTok, if you're live on YouTube, if you're live on the Podbean app, you are more than welcome to come in here and join the conversation and let's chat about it. So, are you stressed? Are you feeling stressed? And oftentimes, the big question is many persons do not even know or understand or are aware when they are stressed. So, this morning we're going to talk about that. What are some of the signs or the symptoms that you can recognize in your body when you are stressed? So, let's talk about that now. Let's jump right in. And just before we do, want to say a huge thank you and a huge shout out to those who have been sending gifts, to those who have been liking, those who have been sharing. We appreciate you guys. And can I say how much thankful and how grateful we are for your support? It goes beyond just saying. All right. And as usual, we say, our mantra, and we want you to just, seek to create a mantra for yourself. But we reiterate this reality that personal development is not an event, it's a lifestyle. And at XY Spark, our goal and our passion is to encourage more men to pay attention to their mental health. We are seeking to normalize these conversations. And one of the ways that we can manage our mental health more effectively is to learn how to manage stress. So, let's jump right into our conversation. And if you do have a question, guys, please, you can type it in the chat. If you want to join us live, let us know. We'll send you an invite because that's what we're here to do, to create a safe space for men and even for our female listeners and followers. If you have a question, ladies, you're welcome as well to ask us anything here. All right. There is no shame, there's no secret. We are here to say, let's create a shift in the way that as men we deal with our mental health. So thank you guys. Remember, share our live with your friends. So what are some of those signs that we will see happening in our bodies when we're stressed? Here we go. Sign number one is if you notice that your sleep is out of sync, if you notice that you have a really, really inconsistent sleep, it's like you're not able to sleep long enough, or you're waking up in the middle of the night. If you find that you're not really getting that REM sleep, so when you get up in the morning you feel a lot more exhausted than you normally would, it's a sign that you're stressed and something is going on. Okay. If you start feeling unexplained physiological symptoms in your body, pains in your back, pain in your neck, pain in your head, pain in your chest, it could be as a result of stress. And so, if you realize that this is happening to you, it may be that your body is sending you warning signs that you are stressed. If you are someone who you realize that you are constantly rushing, right? You're never able to get anywhere on time or do things, then you're creating an environment that breeds stress. So you want to seek to identify those things. If you find that you're more edgy, if you find that you're lacking in motivation, if you find that you are using substances more than you should, or if you're using substances any at all, because I'm one thing is, guys, I do believe in the harm reduction model. So that's why I'm saying, if you're using substances more than you can, then you've got to watch it. All right. If you're drinking more than you normally do, you've got to watch it. If you're smoking more than normally, you've got to watch it. So there's so many different things that breathe stress. And today we want to talk about some solutions, some ways that we can manage stress so that we can become more effective and more efficient in the way we live our life. So my first point about managing stress, guys, is this: is we want to seek to learn to practice some deep breathing. Yes, guys, I did say deep breathing. What's the purpose of practicing deep breathing? Because to some persons, they say, well, Rolando, I've tried deep breathing and it didn't work. Now, the reality is that sometimes many of us, right throughout the day, we may have taken 2 or 3 deep breaths in a 24-hour cycle. What we're saying is we want to take some time to really focus on our breath, filling our diaphragm with air and releasing that as a way of feeding our brains with oxygen. That's the purpose of that deep breathing. That deep breathing, guys, redirects the oxygen, takes it to the brain. When the oxygen goes to the brain, we sort of engage the prefrontal cortex, which is our thinking brain, which is a part of our brain that's responsible for executive functioning. And as we practice that deep breathing, we move from the fight, flight, freeze portion of our brain, or the reptilian, the lower region of our brain, and we engage the upper region of our brain, which is our thinking brain, that's going to help us now to think more clearly and to make better decisions. So that number one thing is that deep breathing, right? Number one thing as it relates to managing stress, practicing proper breathing. Okay, learning how to take some time to pause and to fill our diaphragms with air and release that. And we need to practice that at least three, 4 times a day. Do it in the morning when you jump out of bed. Do it when you get a break at lunchtime. Do it again at the closing of your day. Try to, put like a 10 minutes aside or so just to practice deep breathing as a way to ground yourself. That's number one. Number two thing when it comes to deep breathing is that we have got to be aware of our diet. And yes, guys, I said it because we've got to stop eating some of the junk that we eat in order to manage stress. Sometimes we are stressed and we're overwhelmed because we really don't have any set time, we don't have any schedule, we eat around the clock, we're destroying ourselves. And I heard one health professional said this, and I'm paraphrasing, is that sometimes we are in our 20s but our stomach is in its 30s. So our stomach is working overtime because we have no control. We're eating too much, we're overeating, we're stressing our bodies out, and we want to give ourselves proper room. Now, I'm not a dietitian, so I don't want to speak as any authority on it, but the thing that I know and I've learned over time is that when we give ourselves enough room, when we space our diet out, when we space our meals rather out, at least 4 hours apart, it gives our body some time to recoup and reset. So we want to, if we're going to manage stress, we've got to pay attention to our diet, the frequency of how much we eat, what we eat, and when we eat, so that we can manage stress better. The next thing that we want to really look at doing as relates to managing stress is we want to connect. We want to connect with others. You guys, here's a reality. Stress pushes us into isolation, right? Stress pushes us into isolation. And oftentimes, when we isolate, the stress takes over and we end up doing more harmful things to our minds and our bodies. So, what we're saying is that in order to manage stress more effectively and more efficiently, we have got to not isolate. The isolation is a killer. All right. So if you want to learn to manage stress more effectively, you've got to move away from this space where you're isolating. Right? Okay. Reach out for help. Talk to somebody. Connect with somebody who can give you some healthy, good advice that's going to help you to overcome stress. And this takes me now, guys, into my next point about managing stress, and that is seek some counseling. Yes, guys, I said it. I'm speaking to men specifically. A lot of us as men, we look at counseling as a bad thing. We see counseling as something that we should not do. We see counseling as a space for people who are weak. And we're not looking at it, men, through the right lens. Okay. To my female listeners, I also notice that there are a lot of women who feel that way about counseling too. And I'm saying that counseling and seeking out counseling is a good way to help to manage stress. Why? Because it will give you perspectives. It's important for you to find a safe space where you're able to sit with someone who can help you with ideas and find solutions to help you to manage stress. And even in my role as a life coach and psychotherapist, I've seek to generate these conversations for persons to know that if you're feeling stressed, guess what? Life has stress in it, but there are tools, there are ways to manage stress where your mental health doesn't deteriorate and you get into that spot where now you are hurting yourself and hurting your family. So seek out counseling. That's another point as it relates to managing stress. The next thing that we want to seek to do if we're going to manage stress is understand the art of managing the events in time. Notice I did not say time management because there's this thing that we say all the time, learn to manage time. You know, we can't really manage time. We can manage the events in time because we all have the same 24-hour in our day, right? So we can't manage time. All right. But we can manage the events in time. which means giving ourselves now realistic timelines in which we're going to accomplish our goals. If we have somewhere to go, don't cut it too close and say, hey, I have an 8 o'clock appointment, so I'm going to leave home at 10 minutes to 8. Give yourself room just in case anything happens. You can recover from that. All right. And oftentimes we create our own stress because we are not acknowledging that realistically I need to give myself at least a 15-minute window extra in case of any event that happens that I did not see coming, any unforeseen things that happen. So, if we're going to manage stress and manage it more effectively, we've got to learn how to manage the events in time because that is an important part of us learning how to cope and manage stress more effectively and more efficiently. I just want to pause here to, send a shout out to all those who are joining us live on TikTok. We see you, we appreciate you. Thank you guys for being here. Those who are joining us live on YouTube, we want to say a shout out to you as well, and to all our regular Podbean listeners, we appreciate you. Please, guys, go right now, log into xyspark.podbean.com. You can join the conversation there. Okay, you can also join the conversation here live on TikTok. If you have any questions or anything that you'd like us to work on, we're here for you. We do offer live life coaching calls in these moments to talk about our topic. If you have a suggestion about a topic that you'd like us to discuss, then we would like to say to you, please type it in the chat. You can message us in the inbox, and we will surely seek to generate some conversation and do some research and talk about your topic, because we are in the business of empowering our listeners to become the best version of themselves. So continue, please, girls, like, share, guys, rather, like, share, comment, and let someone know what's going on here at Extra Spark. So we're talking about stress and managing situational stress. So we talked about sleep, we talked about seeking out some counseling, we talked about deep breathing, we talk about connecting with others. Now, the next thing that we're going to talk about, excuse me, is hobbies. Do you have any hobby? Right? Do you have an hobby? Right? It's important for you to understand that, having a hobby of some kind will help you to manage stress. Right? Is it art? Is it music? Do you like to sing? Do you like to dance? Do you like to, play games? What do you enjoy as a hobby? Are you into running? Are you into biking? All right. Do you play any games? Pool. What's your hobby? Find a hobby, and having a hobby helps us to manage stress more effectively. So, you see, guys, there are so many things that we can do to manage stress. And if the stress takes over, it's because we are giving that stress too much room to breathe, because there are so many things that we can do. And, oftentimes stress is connected to depression. Oftentimes, when we're stressed and we don't address it, we end up being in that space of depression. And we want to seek to face that stress head on and initiate and integrate some of these things that's going to help us to do better. So, find a hobby if you want to manage that stress. The next point is exercise. All right. What the experts are saying is that if we can dedicate at least 25 minutes a day to doing exercise, it will help with managing stress. Remember, guys, the stress hormone in our body is cortisol. When our cortisol level is high, our stress goes way through the roof. Exercise now helps to bring the cortisol level down, bring the testosterone level up. And when we do that, we find that we are far more able to manage stress. Hey, thanks to those who are joining us live on TikTok. We see you jumping in, jumping out. We appreciate you. Please, we value your feedback, your opinion. If you have a question that you'd like to ask us, you can always type it in the chat. If you'd like to join our conversation, please feel free to join our conversation and let's engage, because we are in the business of creating a safe space where we can talk about healthy ways to manage stress and to improve our mental health. So guys, exercise, that's what the experts are saying. At least 25 minutes, get into that space where we're able to really work on ourselves. All right, burn some calories, get some muscle tone going, but exercise, walking, running, biking, getting on that treadmill, doing push-ups, doing some hot yoga, doing some aerobics, but exercise, it's an important part of managing stress. And guys, just to make a disclaimer here, I myself need to do better on the exercise. Right? No shame, guys. I'm being real with you right now as you're listening. That's something that I really need to work on. Okay. Another thing, guys, that's important as well. So managing stress is carve out a space to spend quality time with yourself. Yes, I said it. Spend some quality time with yourself. Take care of yourself, right? Take time, to take showers daily. Take time to done up, because I'm talking to the men. I say done up. Girls, take time to doll up, okay? But do things that's going to help you to feel better about yourself. When we look sometimes, Ben, when we look at the ladies, they do makeup, they do hair, they do nail, they do lashes, they do all these things. I'm saying as men, we have to take some time to take care of ourselves as well. All right. Take some time to take care of yourself. If you're a smoker, make time to brush your teeth properly. Whatever you do for work, take time to take good showers so you can be clean and feel good about yourself. All right. Take time to spend quality time with yourself. Learn how to appreciate your own company. Sit a little bit in a quiet space to just reflect and meditate and reset. Stop running in the fast lane or living a life in the fast lane every single day. Because, guys, that is a stress enhancer. Okay. So take some time to work on yourself. Take some time to spend quality time with yourself. Take some time to pamper yourself. Yes, guys, I did say it, because a lot of us as men, we hear that we're thinking, I'm a man and this, but take some time to really take care of yourself. Showering, going to get your feet done. Go take a massage, sometimes, but take care of yourself, man. I'm saying it because if you don't take care of yourself, who will? Don't expect your partner to. Don't expect the world to take care of you. You've got to make it a priority to take care of yourself so that you feel better and you look better and your confidence will go to the next level. So take some time, guys, to take care of yourself. So these tips that we shared with you today, if you like what you heard, and if you'd like to hear more conversations like this, please do not be afraid to like and to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Subscribe to our podcast. It's www.xyspark.podbean.com. You can also find us on iTunes. You can find us on Alexa. We're there on iHeartRadio. We're all over the internet. We're saying find our podcast somewhere, like, share, subscribe. To those who are joining us live on TikTok, we just want to say, hey, we appreciate your presence. We hope that you heard something here today that made sense. And we want to say, join us again for another one of our episodes here on XY Spark. Today is Friday, and we refer to Friday as Freedom Friday. Our theme this morning was how to manage situational stresses and maintain balance. You can go back and listen to all this episode on YouTube or on Podbean. In the meantime, this is your boy, your men's life coach Rolando on XY Spark. And we just want to encourage you to remember this, that personal development, it's not an event, it's a lifestyle. And we want you to know that this lifestyle can only become a possibility when you take charge of the reins of your life and seek to do the work every single day. Thank you so much for joining us. And we hope to see you again next time as we continue to remind you that at XY Spark, we believe that there is a spark in you. We will see you again next time. Have a great day.